what I do in 6 weeks if I want to completely upgrade my love life and stop attracting unavailable men. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You meet a person that says all the right things, but when it's time for real effort, absolute crickets. Or worse, they tell you that they're still trying to figure themselves out, all while wasting your time. You're not being high maintenance or asking for the world. You're just completely tired of entertaining people who can't match your energy, effort, or your emotional maturity. Somehow it keeps happening. Different phase, same patterns. I know this cycle all too well. Before I met my husband, was always the almost girl, the one that they would come to when they wanted the benefits of a relationship without actually committing. But here's what I learned. It wasn't just bad luck. It was the energy that I was putting out there, the boundaries I wasn't holding up to, and the version of me that I had yet become. Fast forward to now, I've been with my husband for over 11 years, married for 4, and trust me, there's a reason why that part of my life is over. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what I would do in 6 weeks if I wanted to stop attracting partners that weren't ready. Step by step. This isn't about playing some type of games. This is about feminine confidence, emotional regulation, and becoming the kind of woman who only attracts what she deserves. Let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. I am Alyssa. My channel has been growing and I'm so grateful for all of you here. If this is your first time seeing a video from me, welcome. And if you have been here since the beginning, around 2 years ago when I started this channel, welcome back. Let's get into the very first phase. Phase 1 is going to be the mirror check. We attract people who reflect how we feel about ourselves. And that's the real. A lot of y'all aren't going to like this, so I'm going to say it again. We attract people who reflect how we feel about ourselves, not how we say we want to be treated. Psychologically, this is called the self-verification theory. We subconsciously seek relationships that confirm our current belief system, even if they're negative. This first phase is about being brutally honest. Are you choosing these men? Or are your insecurities choosing for you? I know when I was, dating in college and I just was attracting the same kind of guys, to be honest. It was just like a rinse and repeat, right? And I just couldn't, for the life of me, figure out why was I attracting that kind of energy. I thought, it's just the dating pool. That's just guys are trash. This is just how it was. But honestly, it really was a mirror of how I was feeling about myself at that time. Like, I felt like I was always the girl before the girlfriend. That's the energy I was putting out, and that became my reality. Here's a hot girl tip. The red flag rewind. Take a journal, take your notepad, and do a relationship post. What I mean by that is list out the last 3 relationships you had, flings, hookups, whatever. For each, I want you to write, number 1, what you ignored. Number 2, what you hoped would change. And number 3 is how you felt after it ended. I promise you, when you do this, you are going to see patterns very loudly. And let's be clear, this isn't about shaming yourself. It truly is to take your power back and just see the common similarities amongst them. Do this exercise. Do not skip this phase. Phase 2 is going to be nervous system CEO. Calm women win. A huge reason why hot and cold men are so addictive is because they're triggering dopamine spikes. And this is the same neurological pattern as gambling. Your nervous system gets hooked on the unpredictability. This phase is about calming down the chaos inside so you stop mistaking anxiety for attraction. And in this phase, I really want you to be honest with yourself, ladies, because there oftentimes, you love that kind of hot and cold and you can't explain why. Like, they're ignoring you and then they are devoting all their attention to you and you go back and forth and back and forth. And it's like a roller coaster. Girl, get off of the roller coaster. There are other ways to make your dopamine spike, okay? Here's a hot girl tip. The calm is a flex ritual. Every time you feel yourself about to spiral or currently spiraling over mixed signals, do a 90-second reset. What this looks like is I want you to place your hand on your chest and one on your belly, okay? Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. And now I want you to repeat, I only entertain clarity, okay? This is going to recenter you into reality and not potential. Phase 3, week 3 is going to be soft power activation. You are receiving, not chasing. I want to remind you guys that feminine energy is not weak. It honestly is so magnetic. Studies show that people are often more attracted to those who are relaxed, self-contained, and not in a constant performance mode. This is the phase where you switch from trying to prove that you are worthy and simply just be worthy. I know for me, for a very long time, I felt like I was very much in my masculine energy, like I can do any and everything. I took a lot of pride in that. In my masculine energy, I was getting things done. I was also very much like a rage monster. I am still constantly working on this, but it was just a lot, like over the top, like just all the time, right? And I know for me, when I start really just tapping into my feminine energy, just practicing mindfulness, being more calm, being more reflective and not just popping off and being angry all the time, it literally changed. It changed a lot of dynamics within my marriage. It's changed the way people were interacting with me. And I feel like the way I was just going about the world. And I'm telling you guys, femininity is extremely powerful. Here's a hot girl tip for you guys in this phase. For 7 days, I don't want you to initiate any contact in the man that you're interested in. And this is not playing games. I'm not saying to ignore somebody and intentionally just not, communicate with that person. You can communicate that you're busy this week or whatever, but don't go out of your way to initiate contact. Instead, I want you to focus on you. I mean, truly focus on your own joy. Work out. Do some hobbies, get some much needed rest. Watch how the dynamic shifts when you're not energetically reaching. This isn't about playing games, okay? It's energetic boundaries in action. Phase 4, week 4 is the non-negotiable glow up. Dating yourself first. When you prioritize your own fulfillment, you naturally are going to filter out half-hearted offers because let's face the reality. A lot of times we are craving something from someone else. If we're craving, intimacy and someone is giving us to that, then we may not see clearly all the negative signs within them. If we're craving compliments, right? So that's why it's so important to pour into yourself so you can see clearly. Self-concept theory says your identity drives your standards. In this phase, I want you to build the identity of a woman who is unavailable to breadcrumbs, okay? You deserve an entire meal, not these little breadcrumbs. And honestly, this is one of my favorite phases because it really just is about pouring into yourself during this phase and not just accepting the bare minimum. I feel like sometimes throughout our lives, especially when you are lonely, you want certain things in a relationship, you kind of accept the bare minimum because you're not getting that within yourself. So that's why this phase is so crucial. The areas of your life that you've been neglecting, pour into that. Here's a hot girl tip. Pick one area in your life that you've been neglecting. It could be fitness, finances, social life. And I want you to make it the main character of your life for the next 7 days. You treat yourself like a priority. You stop tolerating being treated like an option. Phase 5, week 5 is the masculine energy vetting bootcamp. Emotionally available men behave differently from the start. Evolutionary psychology tells us high investment partners signal interest through consistent effort. What that basically means is if someone is interested in you, truly interested in you, they will consistently show up. Think about any area of your life that you're interested in. If you're interested in getting paid at your job, you will consistently show up. If you are interested in being fit, you will consistently show up. The same thing goes for relationships. If a partner is signaling consistent interest, they usually are. Low effort men don't need more time. They have already shown you who they are, so believe them the first time. Here's a hot girl tip. 3 strikes and I'm divine. I want you for every new connection to mentally, or you can write it down in your notes, give them 3 opportunities to show up consistently. If they flake, strike 1. If they ghost and then pop out, strike 2. If they dismiss your needs, strike. After 3, you don't argue. You just elevate. Your energy is divine, so act accordingly. And I want to be clear in this phase. This doesn't mean that you are not communicating with this individual. It doesn't mean that you aren't being clear, but it is about you are mentally keeping note, because people will always reveal to you who they are. You just have to watch and listen and observe, okay? A lot of times there are so many clear signs early on that you are willingly ignoring. So all I'm saying to do in this phase is to take note. Before I get into the very last phase, if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I really appreciate you guys being here. I love my YouTube community. There truly is no community like it. And I read all of your guys' comments. So make sure if you have any questions or personal testimonies, make sure you leave a comment below. And this is a community, so we interact with each other here. And you never know who you may be helping with your comment. And I want you guys to make sure you follow me on social media, Fitless Lifestyle. And you can see my social media that I am very much who I am online. A lot of people will show up a certain way, online, but then their social media doesn't necessarily reflect that. But you can see, like, I am who I am. I'm very much about empowering women, very much about fitness, and just constant elevation, growing and evolving to the best versions of ourselves. So if that is what you are interested in, make sure you give me a follow. Okay, let's get into the very last phase. Phase 6 and week 6 is going to be magnet mode. When you say no to what you don't want, you make space for what you do want. Neuroscience literally proves, you guys, setting boundaries rewires your brain for a higher self-worth. For a very long time, I wasn't really setting boundaries across multiple areas of my life because I feel like I had this guilt thing going on. Like, I felt like people would be mad at me. I would feel guilty about speaking up and communicating something. And I don't feel that way at all anymore. Like, setting boundaries is crucial. And it's very true. Like, once you start doing this, your self-worth just gets higher and higher because you just don't accept everything. And a lot of people will try to make you feel guilty for setting boundaries, but don't believe that. Don't fall into the hype, because it is crucial to speak up and communicate for yourselves. Once you get used to being treated a certain kind of way, it's almost impossible to go back to being treated like crap. Here's a hot girl tip. Every day in this week, I want you to practice saying no to very small things. No to people pleasing. No to very low effort combos. No to over explaining yourself. Your no is one of the most magnetic thing that you own. Use it. Listen, the version of you who no longer attracts men who aren't ready is simply a woman who knows what she deserves and refuses to negotiate her self-worth. She's calm, she's grounded, and she is magnetic. That version of you is not as far away as you think she is. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope it was helpful. And like I said, if you guys like this kind of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know, because I will continue to make more videos like this. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.